The Travers Stakes Day edition of the Notorious OTB on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Pay just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with code SGPN. Welcome, everybody, to the Notorious OTB, brought to you by the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And folks, as always,
it's all good, baby. It was all a dream.
We used to read Blood Horse magazine. I'm like Cuban.
Yes, Cuban B.
And I'm your host, Chase Sessoms, the Wolf of Oaklawn.
I'd rather be trapped than lazy. Don't care what they say, I'ma do what pays me.
It happens every year about this time. Weaklings act like they lost their mind. Alphas reclaim the neighborhood. Rob the sheep and all the wolves get good. Yo, if you were hustling, you...
Yes. Joining me, as always, you might know him as the Michelangelo of the Crying Michael Jordan. He's your favorite capper's favorite capper. Ladies and gentlemen, Barry the Sniper Spears.
Hey, don't rub on that. You block that. You understand? That's alpaca. That's $25,000 alpaca. You block that shit. Right. You don't rubble. Put the club soda on there.
What's good, Barry?
I almost gave myself alpaca moment. I thought I spilled something or got something on one of my hats, and I had to remind myself to blot it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't rub on it, because
yeah,
that's $25,000 alpaca.
That's right. And did you use the club soda also with all the bubbles?
Yes, I did, and it worked.
Well, guess what? Speaking of bubbles, we've got someone joining us today. That's right. We're not alone in this episode of the Notorious OTB. Ladies and gentlemen, the most hated man on Twitter, Andrew Champagne.
Second.
Yeah.
I think JD Fox is the most hated. He'll never be able to live down the Knicks go debacle.
You know, it's one of those things. I co-hosted a podcast with him for quite a while. All-time good human being. Love that guy. I got a lot of texts that day. Yeah, love that guy. Absolutely love that guy.
Man.
Anybody rushing to conclusions about that guy, don't do that. Please don't.
No,
do that.
he's the best.
He's a good guy. I had an embarrassing moment with JD Fox where I was talking about how I never met JD, and then he reminded me that we spent like all of Breeders' Cup Classic Day together. Like, oh yeah,
Oops.
yeah. We were even on a group bet. I handed you money, in fact. So what are we gonna do? Guys, it's here. It's a high holiday. It's the fourth leg of the Triple Crown. Andrew, how pumped are you for this weekend and for Travers?
14 races on Saturday. At that point, it's more of an endurance test than anything else. But there are some very good wagering opportunities, even if you have to dig a little bit, I think, to find them. There's a couple of places where I think you can take a stand and maximize your opinion. If you're right one time on this 14 race card, I think you've got a chance to have a pretty good day. And as racing fans and as handicappers, that's all we can expect.
That's true. Barry, you're going to be in attendance on Travers Day. What
I am actually not. Had to put the brakes on that one. Got some doctor's appointment stuff to do. So in lieu of that, I am going to the beach and maybe even mow my lawn before post time. Who knows? Might get crazy.
There's nothing like some good yard work before you start playing.
Or I start losing.
See, I'm gonna have to live vicariously through you guys. I'm in California. We're not allowed to have yards.
Ooh.
Yeah, the whole, ridiculously expensive to live out here thing. Anybody that has a yard is rich enough to have somebody to, take care of it for you.
Fair enough.
Well,
Fair enough.
all right.
Real quick, before we get into it, Sports Gambling Podcast is giving away $1,000 circa NFL future bet with their phrase that pays. You can submit your phrase now at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/phrase. Well, let's pull up some past performances because, boys, it is time to kick it off. And we kick it off. Oh, I actually have to tell people what we're talking about.
What are we talking about?
We're looking at Travers Stakes Day with a $100 budget at Saratoga. That's Saratoga Saturday, the 23rd of August, year of our Lord, 2025. Post time for this card is going to be 11 a.m. Eastern, 10:10 a.m. God's time, and 8:10 a.m. out on the specific coast in this specific time zone where Andrew finds himself. It's a $100 budget show. We can play any race on the card, any wager type, whatever makes that cash money. And speaking of making cash money, Barry, you kick us off in race 4 today. You're stepping on next early.
Kinda. Hopefully we can and kick this day off properly. In race number 4, which is a state bred maiden special weight.
Oh, I heard it coming. I was trying to get adjusted for it. There it is.
I was state raised. You think I'm scared to catch a case? What's some bullshit?
Going 6 furlongs on the main track. Now, what's funny about this race, obviously it's a bunch of maidens, but there's really not much speed in this race from what I can tell. Only a few that may or have shown the propensity to kind of be forwardly placed. So I'm going to use the horses that I think best fit that category. I'm going to use the 8 Call Bob with Frankie Dettori up. Last summer was at Saratoga, last seen on a turf, which you could throw that race right out. But before that, ran 2 pretty good races at this level, forwardly placed. Has a steady stream of works, bullets, albeit not really bullets because they're at the training center and there's not many horses there. So, but still training pretty well nevertheless. The buyers that this horse has run already have really comparable with what would win this race. So we're going to use the 8 Call Bob. We're also going to use the 10 America's Back. Might be a standout in this spot. I almost singled this horse. I'm not in love with the post position, but this horse might be superior to these and can get a good trip, especially sitting right off of Call Bob. After that, I really don't see too many horses that could actually win this race. So we're going to use the 8 and the 10 to get out of race 4.
There you go. And I am a joke of a human being and forgot to add race 5 to these past performances. So we're just going to look at America's Back while Barry tells us how he closes out his double in race 5.
So race 5 is a allowance for fillies, state breds, going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. I'm using 2 horses in the 5th race, notably number 2, which would probably be my top pick, Inflammable. This horse actually came off the bench on May 17th from a layoff of last year, August 23rd. Ran a pretty decent race. Then they put this horse on the turf and they won. Ran a good race that day. Didn't have the best of trips. Still overcame and won. Then they went into a race similar to this one and just missed. I thought this performance was really good, especially since this horse was way out wide, was kind of wide the whole way, finished up strong, and really almost won this race. Got beat late by a horse in Just Add Water, who kind of split horses inside late and kind of got a better trip. That was really the difference between that horse winning and losing. Getting Frankie back again, I think they can do it. 8-1 morning line. And then we're going to go with number 8, Phoebe in Wonderland, who coincidentally was in the same race as Inflammable at last time. Kind of got the worst trip, although I think Phoebe in Wonderland needed that last race. Kind of got off slow, was wide the whole way, finished up pretty strong with Rosario. I think they're going to move forward with Wesley Ward off of that effort. Rosario up again. Some good work since I think Phoebe in Wonderland's pretty live in this spot. So we're going to use the 2 and the 8 to round out our $5 daily double.
There we go. Barry gets it early in comparison to Champagne and I here. I am next. I kick it off in race 7, 8 furlongs for the $400,000 Lake Placid Stakes. It's a grade 2 on the inner turf. I'm playing a $10 win and it's going to be on the number 5 Scarlet Sands at 10-1. As I often, the bad guys in the sport of horse racing, like Matthew DeSantis, enjoy mentioning that I think every sprint race is going to break down. However, as you listeners at home know, the real shameful think that every turf route is going to get wired. Well, it's shameful shit time because I think that this turf route gets wired by a horse at a decent price. So I'll be win betting with Scarlet Sands. The handicap for this race is simple. I think that Scarlet Sands is going to be loose on the front end with Joel Rosario aboard for this, for this 3-year-old David Carlos filly. A lot of people, give shit to Rosario for taking horses back in the pace. I honestly think of the big, when he's on the big names horses and of the, the better jockeys floating around these days, I think he's pretty good on the front end in comparison to, say, like Irad or anything. I'm less upset with Rosario on the lead than I am with Irad. So I like the jockey combination. I think Rosario gets it done on the front end in this race. And I'm in there, no muss, no fuss, $10 down, a win on the number 5, Scarlet Sounds, to the hoop.
I love Duncan, guy. What are you talking about?
Andrew, you kick it off at race 7 as well. You're like me. You waited for the stakes races. You got a win bet. You got a daily double. Why don't you tell us what you're doing?
First of all, I would like to apologize to Carlos David, not David Carlos. I'm just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
So I see where you're going with Scarlet Sands, who certainly looks like the only horse that wants to be forward. I just think she's too slow on figures. I think she's going to have to step up considerably against this group. I get where you're going. You're going to get a price, but I do think there's a horse in here that could potentially show a little more speed than she showed last time out when she blew the break. And I'm referring to first ballot Andrew Champagne Gambling Hall of Famer Mayday Ready, horse number 3 in the program. If you look back at the form, you see first time out, she was 25-1 at Saratoga. She made my meet that particular day and also wound up getting my now wife and I banned from one of our favorite ice cream places in Walnut Creek, California, because I was jumping up and down watching the race on my phone. I go 6'5" and about 250 pounds. It's a heck of a visual. She enjoyed a very good campaign last year. The Connections did a very sporting thing, sending her to Japan for a Group 1. She came back, and if you think she hasn't been the same, I understand. But I'm willing to throw out the wonder again. She is not a dirt horse. She needed that race. And then she runs fourth, beaten 4 lengths in the Belmont Oaks. I'm not going to say the start cost her the race, but I do think she would have been significantly closer. And if she's third, beaten 1.5 lengths or 2 lengths by Fione and Nitrogen that day, isn't she 7-5 or 8-5 in this spot as opposed to her likely price? Fun fact, this will be her 8th career start. She has been the favorite none of those times. That's a factor, I think, of running for a very small barn that is very capable, but just doesn't have many horses. I think Mayday Ready does have some tactical speed. If you look back at the race at Kentucky Downs, she was fairly close early on. I do like that Jose Ortiz hops aboard. Not sure why they made the decision to move away from Frankie Dettori, who's in town, but Jose Ortiz knows how to get a horse involved early. I don't necessarily think Mayday Ready's going to be on the front end, but I do think she's going to sit a stalking trip. And if she does that, that gives her a significant advantage over a number of other horses that are in this race and going to take money. Number 1, Play with Fire. Closer drew on the rail. Red flag already. Deep closer who may very well need a fair bit to go right. I don't know what to make of number 2, Eponine. Number 4, Warming. Closer. Number 6, Raining Flowers. Closer. I want the horse that's going to be a little bit more forward. I think that's Mayday Ready. I'm going to put a $15 win bet in on Mayday Ready, and I'm going to single her in the first leg of an ice cold $5 double that uses my top pick in race number 8. That is horse number 10, Summer Whirl. And we'll talk a little bit more about that one when we get there.
That's right.
Question.
Well, actually,
I have a question.
Go ahead.
What's wrong with Frankie Dettori?
I don't know. It's an interesting question, and it may very well be a case where, as D. Wayne Lucas once said, I can't fire the trainer. They may very well have just decided they needed to make a change. I don't know, because Dettori is in town. I've got no idea.
Yeah, interesting.
I don't know, man. Dettori's got those tax problems. He might have had a scheduled call with JG Wentworth or something. Never mind. We're going to keep going. Race 8, you close out your daily double here. 8.5 furlongs, $95,000. Not winners of one something. I'm not here to read your fucking conditions. Allowance on the turf. This also a New York bred. How are you closing out this double?
So I mentioned that I'm singling number 10 Summer Whirl. And if that last out race isn't a throwout, I don't know what is. I don't know why they decided to run this horse on the dirt. It may very well have been a case where she was tearing down the barn doors and they needed to run her somewhere. She is not a dirt horse in any way, shape, or form. What she is a pretty darn good turf horse that two back did everything but win, going a mile and 3/16, which is probably a little longer than she wants to go. If she runs back to that race, I think she is strictly the one to beat in this spot. And I think we're going to get a little bit of a price based off of that last out clunker. Luis Saez knows her pretty well. I do think there's at least a little bit of speed signed on in this event. So I'm going to bank on a return to form for Summer Whirl. And in addition to finishing out that $5 cold double, she's also the subject of another $15 win bet. So if we're able to get both of those horses home, the rest of the day is gravy.
Well, Barry's got to play also here in race 8. Barry, are you going with Summer Whirl? Or are you doing something different? You're muted, Barry.
Definitely doing something different because of the fact that I can't find the mute button. So that being said, I kind of had the same vision of this race that Andrew does, except I just used a different horse. I used the 6 dividend recap. I like this horse's race on July 25th after a roughly year and change layoff, almost 2 years. It was pretty good, and that horse ran away from him at the end, going a mile and 1/8 after a layoff like that. That's got to say something. You can only go up from there. If the 73 buyer this horse got is the foundation, and I don't think this horse was really at her peak, I think she can build upon that. There's no real standouts, world beaters, anybody that's crazy in this spot that this horse doesn't have a shot to win. I think there's enough speed, like Andrew referred to to close into. And I think Joel can put a ride on this horse and take it late. So we're going to go with a $20 win bet on number 6 dividend recap, going back to back to the hoop.
Really quick. Hi, JD. How you doing?
Hey.
Popping off in the chat, ladies and gentlemen.
There we
go.
Also, question for you, Barry, since you asked me one about Mayday Ready and Frankie Dettori. I saw what you saw with dividend recap, and I wouldn't be shocked if this horse winds up hitting the board. But do you read anything into Miguel Clement also running the 5 back check in here? I found that sort of curious.
Maybe a little. I mean, but they both pretty much have similar running styles. I don't think they're going to switch it up. Bank check. Maybe they just think this horse has some potential. I mean, that mile and 3/16 race wasn't to that horse's liking. I think that was just too far, and they're just going to give this horse a crack at this mile and the 16th, and they just have to be at both at this spot. But I really like dividend recap, and honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if back check was scratched out of this race.
If back check scratches, dividend recap moves way up in my book. That's for sure.
I think that's what we're going to see.
There we go. Well, that is race 8. My next play comes in race 9, but real quick, got to get a word in from our good friends at mybookie.ag because we are brought to you by mybookie.ag. MyBookie is your place to bet on every sport, including the MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. MyBookie accepts customers from a ton of locations, easy deposit, and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Head to mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN for a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. And don't forget the good nerds at Rhythm who remind you that the NFL is back on Rhythm. Last season, Rhythm was a 76-66 against the spread and 22-19 on over-unders. They really shined on player props, 10-5 on Baker Mayfield props. That's 25% ROI. Rhythm also has MLB, WNBA, golf, and college football. Go to the site today and start building your NFL model for 1 week. Get your 7-day free trial. Sports Gambling Podcast/Rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. And if you excuse me, I need to get a brief rehydration interlude in.
You want to see me kick some ass? I know fucking karate. You want to fuck?
All right, we move it on to race 9, where I've got another play. Race 9 furlongs, $500,000. The personal ensign stakes, a grade 1 on the dirt. I'm going to be playing a $20 win in this race, and that $20 win is going on number 6, Leslie's Rose at 9-2. I think that this is simple in terms of decision making because I feel like it's an either or sort of race. You either say that Torpedo Anna is going to win and you try to make money off of it horizontally or vertically, or you try to beat Torpedo Anna with another horse that's likely priced because Torpedo Anna will be so strongly bet. I'm doing that with the number 6, Leslie's Rose, the $20 win bet, because I think that she fits well in this race shape in a race that's chock full of early pace. Both Leslie's Rose and Torpedo Anna stand to get plenty of pace to run into. I think that you defer to the price when you have two horses that should be getting the same trip. Leslie's Rose took a huge step forward in that last out race after being eased 2 starts back. I think that Leslie's Rose could take another step forward, whereas it's possible that maybe Torpedo Anna's best came last year with her triple-digit buyer figures. I'd rather take a shot with the horse that looks like it could, move forward again for Todd Pletcher. It should be game on exiting the far turn for these 2 horses, Leslie's Rose and Torpedo Anna. So that's my $20 win bet. The number 6, Leslie's Rose in race 9. Anybody got any takes on the personal ensign here?
Yeah,
The
don't,
only
go ahead.
Mine's going to be real quick. I would be more in line to go along with you, but I think Torpedo Anna's outside post gives her a tactical edge. I think she'll be able to sit an ideal trip outside of horses and get first run and potentially maybe even be able to pin Leslie's Rose inside a little bit. If Torpedo Anna was down inside, I could potentially see a replay of the La Troyenne where there's so much of a mad scramble up front and she gets shuffled back because she doesn't necessarily want to be on the lead. But I think the outside post really helps Torpedo Anna here.
There you go, Barry.
It's funny you say that because I have the complete opposite take. I thought the outside draw was horrible for her because now they have to make a decision on whether or not they're going to have to get in the game early, and that might hang her out wide. And if they pull back and try to come off the pace, they might have to circle the whole field. I think it just puts her in a bad spot. I mean, she's very well capable of just kind of going on with it, but there's quite a bit of speed in here. And if Bernie takes charge, stays in this race, I think she's going to have a tough time trying to get settled. I really don't think she really wants to be behind horses too much.
There we go. Once again, we got Junior Mafia popping off in the chat. Let's get it. Hey, we're going to try to get it. We're doing our best to get it.
We're trying.
Yep. All right. Barry, you've got your next play. It comes out of race 10. We're talking 7 furlongs. We're talking $500,000. We're talking the Hallen Jerkins Memorial, or H. Allen, however you prefer to pronounce it, whatever. Barry, what are you doing in race 10 here?
Yeah, we got a $20 win bet on number 7, Captain Cook, in the H. Allen Jerkins Memorial. I just thought there's a lot of speed in here. It's going to get cranked up front. Captain Cook, who is second time going 7 furlongs after going a mile and 8 3 times. I love this angle on the second time at a sprint after going long. These horses have a lot of punch, a lot of finishing punch. This horse doesn't need to be too far off the lead. He's pretty quick, and should be right around it. Training forwardly into this, I think this is a great spot for a horse that's going to be flying a little bit under the radar, and we're going to get a good price at 12-1. Maybe we'll get most of that. I think maybe 10-1, 9-1 ish, but I'm solid with that.
Well, Barry, I also have a play coming out of this race, but I saw it a little bit different. I'm playing a $10 exacta 2 over the 1-3 here in the H. Allen Jerkins. It's no secret that on days like today, with so many stakes races on the card, that Naira likes to soup up the track, and it plays more towards early speed. And I'm going to defer to one early speed horse I think that could win it as a bit of an overlay for a big name trainer. And I'm going to key it on top in exacta with the horses that will try to run my early speed down late. So it's the $10 exacta 2 over 1-3. I'm keying, I'm guessing what we're calling the other Bob in this race with Midland Journey on top as the speed of speed, and using the Bob horse, number 3, Barnes, underneath, along with another horse I thought was really worth the damn with a non-Bob chalk here, the number 1, Patch Adams. So the workout leading into this race for Midland Money, sorry, I said Journey earlier, Midland Money is big time. We're going 4 furlongs and 46 flat and recorded the number 1 work time at 4 furlongs out of 105. That's a pretty healthy sample size, I would say. I think this one is chomping at the bit to run a fucking hole in the wind. This one was made to sprint. It's going to play catch me if you can on the front end. I don't think they catch him. I think they come in second with either the 1 or 3. So that is my play for the H. Allen Jerkins, the $10 exacta 2 with 1-3. There's some speedy looking Bobs here. No one here wanted a piece of the Bob?
Definitely in multis, but I unfortunately would not use the 2 at all.
Yeah, I think the presence of Flavian Pratt on Verifier might be a clue. I also don't love the fact that he ran with Lasix last time. I don't think beat a ton and doesn't get Lasix here. You're going to get a price, though. And how many times in these races have we said the other Baffert? I'm not going to talk you off this horse if you like this horse. I see it a little bit differently. I think Patch Adams is going to be tough. I think the 2 clunkers going long were him running in the wrong races for the right reasons. If you solely look at the 1-turn races, I just think he's incredibly legitimate. He's got enough speed to be able to be on the lead, but he doesn't need the lead, unlike some of these in here. I think that's a big, big plus in his favor.
Well, there we go. That was my play for race 10. We roll into race 11, where you both kick off daily doubles. I'm going to let you both, well, Andrew, you take it first with your win bet, and then the first half of your daily double. Then Barry will give his first half of the daily double.
So here's
and see how you both close it out.
Here's a hot take for you. I think Bob Baffert had 4 spots on a plane. I think the other 3 horses in the Allen Jerkins were just there to accompany my best bet of the day, and that's the 9, Hope Road. Hope Road ships in off of a couple of very good works over at Del Mar. You see a couple of 6 furlong bullets. I think Bob Baffert's got this one primed. If you look at the last several races, it's true she hasn't won, but both Copion and Too Sharp would probably be favored in this particular race. Neither of them show up. I think Hope Road is sitting on a big, big race. And if she winds up running back to either the 2 or 3 back efforts where she ran into Copion but dusted some nice horses, including Ways and Means, who also curiously doesn't run here. I don't know what the story there is, but I thought that was the plan as of a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, I think Hope Road is exceptionally well meant. She's my biggest play of the day here. I have a $30 win bet on Hope Road. I don't think she's going to be favored. I think we'll get that 3-1 morning line, and I think that's an overlay. And I'm also going to use that horse in the first leg of a cold $10 double that has an unsurprising single in the 12th. That's Bookham Dano, horse number 4.
Makes sense. Barry, you've got your daily double here too. Did two paths diverge as Snowy Wood here with you and Andrew?
Definitely not. I'm pretty much very against Hope Road. A lot of which has to do with the post position, and I think a lot of the speed in this race likes to quit. Not a very good group of lasting the 7 furlong trip. With all this speed, I really have a tough time seeing Hope Road, especially parked out on the outside. Lasting, we've seen stranger things happen. There's no doubt that horse is sort of the horse to beat here, but I think there's just plenty of speed, which opens it up. I would say my top pick would be the 5, Claret Beret. It's 2 for 3 at the distance. And if you look at this horse's past performances, they're very, very similar to a horse by the name of Be Your Best, albeit different surfaces. But when Safi got a hold of that horse, he started putting that horse into the race earlier, and it made all the difference. Clearly, that was the case back in May 11th to be exact, where they did that at Gulfstream going a mile. This horse drew off with no competition. Then backs it up in the next race at Churchill Downs, just missed in getting into the race a lot earlier. I suspect that train will continue. Getting IRAD, when they hook up, they hook up at almost 30%, and they do well together when IRAD gets a leg up. Training forwardly into this race, a nice steady stream of work since coming to Saratoga. I think all systems are go for Claret Beret. And we're going to use the 8, My Main Squeeze also, who clearly isn't a speed horse, although they won on the lead last time. They were just flat out better than those horses. But should get a similar trip to Claret Beret. Kind of disappointed in the Chicago at Churchill, where Claret Beret finished second, but was kind of wide. And actually the last 2 races before that was a little wide, gotten not so ideal trips. So I'm willing to excuse that. Gets kind of a setup on Saturday. So we're going to use the 5, Claret Beret, and the 8, My Main Squeeze, to get out of this race.
He's out of there with the 8. Andrew, you have an exact here. Barry, you've got a win bet in race 12. That's the Forego. I assume the second half of your daily doubles here. So, Barry, what are you doing with the win, and how are you closing out your double?
Yeah, so I'm going to use 3 horses in the double, but we're going to put a win bet on one of them because of the price. So I'll start with that one. We're going to win bet, a $10 win bet on number 5, Extra Anejo. I think this horse was kind of misplaced for a little bit and didn't get the greatest of trips in a couple of races, including the Churchill Downs. Was clearly overmatched against horses like Mindframe, but came back in the Hanshin and ran really, really well enough, at least for me, to think that this horse merits a really good shot closing into what looks to be a hot pace, and probably hasn't seen a hot pace like this since they ran at Keeneland in the Commonwealth, and you saw what happened that day. So I'm thinking that this horse is going to try to get that same trip. Ben Curtis, really rides sprints well, whether it's on turf or dirt. I think he's going to have this horse in the right spot. The horse is training very well coming into this race. All systems go. Extra Anejo. If we get 20-1, that'll be perfect.
There we go.
Now I'm also going to
close out your double. Yeah.
Now to close out the double, we're going to use Extra Anejo, the 5, we're going to use Crazy Mason, who I think is done traveling around the world. Came off the bench after winning the Carter in the slop in the True North, and I really don't think they really had a chance. There wasn't too much speed. There wasn't the setup. Same thing in the Bing Crosby, didn't really fire at all. There was the setup, but just didn't fire, was way back. I think this race sets up a little bit better for this horse. I mean, they're 1-run closer. This race could potentially fall apart with all this speed. So we're going to use the 6 Crazy Mason, and then we're also going to use the 8 Scotland for the same reasons. Gets a way better setup than this horse has gotten used to. Came off the bench after a layoff from December 1st, 2024 to July 12th. Ran a nice race, needed it, looked like a horse that needed the race. Should be all systems go. We're going to use the 5, 6, and 8 to close out that double.
All right. Well, you mentioned that you were single here to close out your daily double, Andrew. You're doing it with, I assume, Bookham Dano. What are you doing here?
Yeah, Bookham Dano to me hits me as a very likely winner, though I will say this, Barry, I appreciate the gusto that you're taking here, because if Bookham Dano gets beat, you stand to make a whole bunch of money. So I see where you're going with this, and I'm even going to tell you, I agree with you to a point. More on that later. But I think Bookham Dano is rounding into form and establishing himself as the best one-turn horse in the country. You see the 2 races in the True North and the Vanderbilt here at Saratoga. Yes, it's true he got perfect trips in both of those races, but it's his tactical speed that's put him there. Paco Lopez knows this horse very well. The only time this horse has gotten beat this year was when he was 4th by a neck in the Churchill Downs, which is looking like the race of the year at this point. Mindframe won it. Niso's dead heated for 2nd. A horse named Banishing also hit the board. He's a very nice horse. I think Bookham Dano is getting better and better, and any sort of a step forward off the Vanderbilt would make him very difficult to beat. So he finishes out a $10 double that started with Hope Road. But here's where Barry and I agree a little bit, because I am also playing a $5 Dave Weaver ice cold exacta that uses Bookham Dano on top of Extra Anejo. Barry did a great job outlining Extra Anejo's case in here. I'll add one more thing, and Chase, I hope you have the GIF ready, because my little pig boy angle is in this race with Extra Anejo.
Little pig boy comes from the dirt. He's a weaselly little mud grub who needs to be stood on. Little pig boy.
When I see a Steve Asmussen trainee with a 2-back bullet drill and a more recent maintenance move, that's a sign that all systems are go from that barn. If Extra Anejo is ready in here to go a distance that he's won 3 of 4 starts at, I think he's got a big chance to hit the board, and that's the way I'm going to try to extract some value out of Bookham Dano in here, because I think Extra Anejo could absolutely run 2nd at a big price. And rather than play Bookham Dano to win at a short price, I'll try to extract some value this way.
There you go. Barry and Andrew wrapping up their plays that started in race 11 with the daily double. We got a win bet. We've got an exacta here in race 12. My next play actually comes out of race 12, but I'm starting a daily double here. But real quick, before we get into that daily double, don't forget the Circa Million and Circa Survivor, because the world's greatest sportsbook, Circa Las Vegas, is hosting the world's biggest pro football contest, the Circa Million, the Circa Survivor, and the Circa Grandissimo. With over $21 million in guaranteed prizes, you can't call yourself a true degen if you're not completing the Circa football contest. Come hang out with SGPN at the Circuit Contest Weekend, August 21st through the 23rd, for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off a stay at the Circuit with promo code SGP15. These contests are open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada. Play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. Go to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGP to get $50 off of your proxy fees. And, of course, we're brought to you by our good friends at Underdog. Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to the first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog, also a great place to play pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Pay just $5, get a $50 bonus in bonus funds when you sign up with code SGPN. And if you excuse me, folks, I need to get yet another rehydration break in.
Little pig boy.
Can I get the definition?
Little pig boy. He's that pathetic, dirty bitch baby mistress gets to stand on.
All right, guys, we're back to it. What are we doing? We're giving out free picks.
And I make nothing. Zero. Zilch. By the time I pay all my scientists, all my people in my research department, lab coats, it's a wash. Well, why you do it then, baby Billy? Well, because I'm selfless.
What a great show.
Yeah. Dude, Baby Billy went wild in that last season, and I love it. Guys, I've got a daily double here kicking off in the Forego, the $500,000 7 furlong contest here. I'm playing a $10 daily double that starts in race 12, ends in the big race. So this is the appetizer, I think, for the meat of my plays. I have an opinion in the next race that I want to try to maximize, and I'm electing to do that by starting in the race preceding it. I'm playing a $10 daily double that starts with the 1, Most Wanted, and, of course, the 4, Bookham Dano. I think that the Forego falls to one of the 2 horses that have a little bit of rate to them that will be sitting inside of the early speed and will have a chance to run all that speed down. I'm using 1 overlay and the chalk to try to get alive to my contrarian opinion in the Travers. The number 1 Most Wanted at 5-1 is going to be getting that stalking trip from the rail, and number 4 Bookham Dano 8-5 should be getting a similar trip and doing it from a wider path. And I think that these are the 2 that I want to start off my double with to roll into the next leg, which we'll go ahead and get into it. Guys, it's the big race. Race 13, 10 furlongs, $1.25 million. The grade 1 Travers. I've also got some plays here, so I'm going to let Andrew go ahead, give me your exacta, and then I'll give how I'm finishing out this daily double in my plays.
I am fully expecting to get booted off of this stream because I have a very strong opinion about what Chase is likely to do here. Sovereignty is going to be immensely tough. This is a horse that if he runs back to the Belmont, the race is over. If he runs back to the Jim Dandy and nobody steps forward, he still wins. So what I'm going to do is play yet another Dave Weaver ice cold exacta, but I'm not going to use your likely second choice in second. I'm going to go with number 3 Strategic Focus. Ran a very weird race in the Curlin last time out. He hit the front. He looked like a winner at the top of the stretch, and then he just sort of quit inside the last furlong. Chad Brown adds blinkers, and apparently this horse has been working very well. I'm not saying he wins. I do think he's the most likely to run second, especially if there's a contested early pace, and I think the pace will be a little bit quicker than it might first appear on paper. So what I'm going to do is a $10 cold exacta, Sovereignty over Strategic Focus, and I'll hopefully turn a 2-5 shot into something resembling some value.
Well, I hope you don't get your value, because as you were probably pretty certain of, I've got a differing opinion. I think we all know what that opinion will be, because everyone remembers where they were when that 43 on the Richter scale got home in the Risen Star. I'm playing a $20 exacta ice cold, Dave Weaver style, as you mentioned. 1 Magnitude, who is my single in the daily double, and is also going to be my single starting another daily double. I'm pressing my opinion here with Magnitude. I'm using Magnitude as a single here, keyed first in the exact. I think that Sovereignty has a lot of miles on the odometer. I think is more likely to regress than the number 1 Magnitude. Well, I think Magnitude wins because of the run style and does it from the front. I think Sovereignty is closing late, but just doesn't quite catch up to Ben Curtis and Magnitude. Magnitude has done the damn thing for me before, and I think he's much more likely to improve, while I think Sovereignty is the more likely to regress. So I've got a $20 ice cold daily or exacta, and then I'm starting a $5 daily double here into the finale with the 1. And in race 14, the New York bred Maiden claiming affair, 8 furlongs on the inner turf. I'm closing out my earth-shaking magnitude double with 2 horses. I think will pay well, even at the $5 amount on the daily double. My top pick of the 2 that I'm using to close out is going to be number 9, Catholic Edition, at 5-1, because Catholic Edition has shown the ability to pass other horses, and there should be plenty to pass here in this spot. If things get out of hand early, then Catholic Edition will have plenty to run into late. And then I'm also going to use the 1, Dancing Jane, because I am at my core a chalk-eating weasel at 5-2 here. With the other Ortiz for Linda Rice is the speed of speed, because horses that make the lead are always dangerous in maiden races. So I'm closing out my double with 1-9, and that closes out my $100 budget bet. What are you doing, Andrew? You're doing something completely different in race 14.
Yes, I am. I'm going to use number 1, Dancing Jane, on top. Probably needed the race to an extent last time out. First start since September, and I think is going to be pretty tough in here. You see a Rad Ortiz riding back for Linda Rice. That's a clue. I think Dancing Jane is well meant, but your guess is as good as mine with regard to who finishes second, and I'm going to take a shot with 2 $5 exactas that finish out my $100 bankroll. Guys, I'm going to put y'all on the spot. Who knows the story behind the name of horse number 3, Sky Lolo?
No idea.
Sky Lolo was a little person professional wrestler in the middle part of the 20th century. Big draw.
Amazing. That's amazing.
So
that's insane.
Yep. Yes, I remember that, and I never remember why I went into the kitchen 5 minutes ago. Side note, my wife is a saint. At any rate, Sky Lolo comes in off of a very long layoff, but I don't think she ran that badly first time out. She was 7th, but beaten 3 lengths. I see Adrienne DeVoe taking on this horse, and she has done very well with horses coming in off of very long layoffs. I've got her at 2 of 4 with horses off of 90 or more days. The DRF past performances have her at 1 of 2 for 180 days or more, and she's very good at moving horses forward after they come into her barn. She's been working very steadily. I think 12-1 is an overlay. I think first-time Lasix could move her forward as well. I think there's something to like. I'll also use number 7, Argenteria, who gets a massive rider switch to Ricardo Santana Jr. off of an effort that wasn't bad. 4th beaten 5 lengths at this level last time out, and the horse has taken a step forward. If you're watching us, you're seeing buyer speed figures going from 43 to 46 to 51 to 61. I like forward progression, and I think there may still very well be some more room for this horse to move forward. If that happens, Argenteria could absolutely improve at a price and hit the board here. So I've got 2 $5 exactas, 1 over the 3 and the 7, and that's my $100 bankroll.
There you go. And that wraps it up with his bailout bet, which he saved for the very last race. Barry's also got a bailout bet. I've got a bailout bet. You know why? Because we saved our tastiest morsels so you can leave with something.
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
Barry, who's your bailout horse?
Yes, race number 14. It is number 9, Catholic Edition.
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Who would have thought? Not me.
Lot to like here, honestly. Kind of getting the makeover package with the blinkers on. New rider and Jose Ortiz. After 2 troubled trips, including one against another horse I like on the card, Dividend Recap. Linda's stats are great. First time blinkers and blinkers on. When she puts Jose Ortiz aboard, they win quite a bit. I mean, there's a lot going on here. The horse finishes strong. The blinkers are probably needed. Should get us set up. I'm just worried about the price. I want 5-1. We get 3-1, I'll still be happy.
That's fair. By the way, guys, did anyone else notice that this race could be titled Katie Davis Last Out Stakes? Because there are like 7 horses in this race that had Katie Davis last out, and they're making switches. What What do you think about the Katie Davis switches here, Andrew?
Well, the big question is, where does she end up? And did she have options? She winds up on the 5 bank on BB, and maybe we're underselling that one a little bit because who knows? Maybe she had some options. And as it turns out, the name of the trainer should be a clue.
She's riding for pop.
Yep. So I'm just saying that there might be some clues there. Nothing against Katie Davis, but there have been there are certainly some rider switches going on here that are noteworthy in race number 14. Save something for that last race because I think it's very interesting from a betting perspective.
Listen, we're going to tally them up right now. We've got 1. We've got 2.
That's Dylan.
Oh, yep. You're right. We got 1. We've got 2. We've got 3. I swear it was more than 3. Whatever. The point still stands. A lot of people had Katie Davis. They're trying different ones. Okay, guys, that's it, man. We've done the damn thing. We've given all of our $100 budget bets for the Travers card so that you guys know where to invest. Barry, how do you feel about wrapping up picks?
I think we might have to.
Is mandatory. You kicked us off in race 4. Barry, what do we got?
All right, race 4, we have $5 daily double. Number 8, Call Bob, and number 10, America's Back, with number 2, Inflammabelle, and Phoebe in Wonderland, the 8 in race 5. Race 8, $20 win on number 6, Dividend Recap. Race 10, $20 to win on number 7, Captain Cook. Race 11, $5 daily double, number 5, Claret Beret, and number 8, My Main Squeeze in race 11 with number 5, Extra Neho, number 6, Crazy Mason, and number 8, Scotland in race 12, and $10 win bet on number 5, Extra Neho, and then the bailout, number 9, Catholic Edition to the hoop. Empty your pockets on that one in the last.
Yep, and don't forget that you need to hang out until Whitey pays you. Is the other part. There it is. Oh, come on.
No regular Whitey pay me.
Right.
Yeah. Just listen to old Bun B, old Bun Beater. All right. Andrew, you've introduced yourself to the 2 Column Club, which consists of you and Kaylee Shapiro here. So what are you doing with this whole mess of bets? Recap.
I'm sorry, I cannot stop laughing at that graphic. That is so good. That chef's kiss, 10 out of 10, no notes. So
there's only one other one that I hold in like as high as regard as this picks. Well, Capitan's is pretty good, but you forget the gigantic cup of red drink playing the saxophone for Josh. Which, by the way, Andrew's one half of a very excellent podcast, Drinking Champagne, that you should check out.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. So moving to race number 7, that's where we start our action. I'll have a $15 win bet on number 3, Mayday Ready. Mayday Ready is also a single and a $5 double that ends with horse number 10, Summer Whirl, in race number 8. In addition to that, I'll have a $15 win bet on Summer Whirl. We'll move to race number 11. That's the Ballerina, and that is the site of my best bet of the day. I really like number 9, Hope Road, coming in for Bob Baffert, and I'll be playing accordingly with a $30 win bet. Also a $10 double starting there. That singles horse number 4, Bookham Dano, in the Grade 1 Forego. That's race number 12, and I'll also have a $5 ice cold exacta using Bookham Dano on top of Extra Neho, a horse Barry and I both like. Race number 13, another ice cold exacta, this one for $10. Think Sovereignty is going to be very tough in the Travers, hoping we can extract some value with strategic focus underneath. And then in race number 14, I'm using Dancing Jane on top of a couple of prices, Sky Lolo, horse number 3, and number 7, Argentaria. Or Argentiera, one of the two. I'm not 100% sure on that. Either way, let's just call it the 7 horse and be done with it.
There we go. Now that is Andrew's $100 budget. Here's mine. Started off in race 7 also with a $10 win on the number 5. Race 9, we're going $20 to win on the number 6. Race 10, $10 exacta, 2 with the 1-3. Race 12, a $10 daily double. 1-4 to the 1 magnitude because I'm putting my day all through magnitude. Race 13, a $20 exacta with the 4. That's magnitude over Sovereignty. Played a $5 daily double to the bailout bet that Barry and I both like here with a $5 daily double starting in race 13, 1 with the 1-9, 9 being Catholic edition, being my bailout bet. Whew, boys, it was a lot of heavy lifting in this one. What do you guys got going on for the rest of the day, though? What's up with everybody?
Let's see. I need to get dinner ready. Actually, I'm supposed to be defrosting some steak in a bit, so that'll be fun. Looking forward to cooking that. Also looking forward to writing up Saturday for the Pink Sheet. You can buy that on site at Saratoga, and you can also check out my stuff at andrewchampagne.com. I've also got, by the way, the Naira TV broadcast going on my TV right now. If you haven't seen Matthew DeSantis' suit today, it's a good one. Dude looks good.
I've heard rumblings that it was a good suit. What? Can you guys describe to me what he's working with here?
He looks like the foundation of the Pee Wee Herman character without the bow tie.
Okay. Okay, now I'm very intrigued. That sounds pretty good. Guys, I guess this is it. Just parting words now. Thanks for tuning in for the $100 budget bet show. We'll be back tomorrow with our best bets for the Saratoga Friday card. And that's it. Oh, yeah. Subscribe. Press the like button. Do all that stuff. Let me find a clip to write out on. We love you. Bye-bye.